Hey everybody, Robert from Black Belt Gaming. Thought I would revisit my Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition series. Got some more stories to tell and things to go over. And so I thought I would cover a few things today from these books. These two books are actually my originals from when I played as a kid. I had them in storage and finally had them shipped over here to Japan. So they're in my hands now. This book I purchased because I was an idiot and sold this. Wait a minute. I think I repurchased this one too. I don't know if this is my original. I know this is, but I may have repurchased these two. And if you've seen this series, you probably know that I didn't pay a lot for this book. It's in great shape. Had it shipped here and found out there were some differences in this one. Like I always remember seeing Sir Lancelot with an 1800 strength. He's got a 19. And I thought, what's going on here? And I continued to look, and this has the Cthulhu mythos and other stuff in it. And I thought, wow, because these usually sell for a lot more. So I got lucky there. But what I wanted to talk with you about today was a character I was playing back in the 80s. And let me share some of the ideas around him. We're going to talk about the Hammer of the Thunderbolts. And I'm going to talk about a monster in the Monster Manual 2 called a Quickling. So as a kid, having this same kind of book, not this exact book, I was really inspired by this picture. This is Thor swinging his great hammer and striking the great serpent there in the back of the head. Just a really cool picture. And I was invited to play in a game. It was a higher level game, which was a bit rare for us back in those days. I think we were allowed to bring 7th level characters, and we were also allowed to either level up or create a new character of 7th level following some guidelines from the Dungeon Master. The Dungeon Master was our good/brutal Dungeon Master. So we knew we were in for some danger and excitement when we played in his game. So I thought, I've got this human fighter. Let me level him up, and I'll create him sort of as I would imagine Thor here. I wanted him to look like that and have a similar weapon. So this was my inspiration. So the weapon I decided to give this fighter in preparation for this adventure was the Hammer of the Thunderbolts. The Hammer of the Thunderbolts, this is page 168 in the Dungeon Master's Guide for First Edition. It appears to be a regular hammer of largest size and extra weight. It will be too imbalanced somehow to wield properly in combat unless the character has exceptional strength, 1801 or higher, and a height of over 6 feet. The hammer then functions as a +3 weapon and gains double damage dice on any hit. If the wielder wears any girdle of giant strength and gauntlets of ogre power in addition, he or she may properly wield the weapon if the hammer's true nature is known. There may be some typos there. What I remember was I had the girdle of giant strength. I don't recall if I had also, in addition to that, gauntlets of ogre power. I don't remember that. But I did have the girdle of giant strength. So the way we played it, the girdle of giant strength was enough. I think we interpreted this or glanced at this back in the day. I think we allowed either the gauntlets of ogre power to let you wield this thing, or the girdle of giant strength. I don't think there was a necessity for both, but I just see the word "and" right there. So let me know how you guys played it back in the day, if anyone used this thing. So when swung or hurled, it gains +5 double damage dice and all girdle and gauntlet bonuses. So that again is almost confirming that you may get the bonuses from both, but I didn't do it that way. That's not the way I was set up so many years ago. I just got my girdle bonus. But it looks like here you could, with the word "and" there, possibly gain bonuses from both of those magical items that increase your strength. Anyway, it will strike dead any giant upon which you score a hit. And I think this little star here is indicating that you may want to restrain it from just knocking dead any storm giant, which I think is the most powerful giant back in the day. When hurled and successfully hitting, it makes a great clap of thunder. It can stun. We're up here now. It will stun all creatures within a few yards for 1 round. Throwing range, it gives you the range here. An extra bit of range for the strength bonus for the gauntlets and girdle. It's clearly saying "and girdle." Maybe these did need to be used in combination, but I just don't remember having that. Don't remember having the gauntlets of Ogre Power. So it says that it specifically lists here that Thor would throw the hammer about double the above ranges. The hammer of Thunderbolts is very difficult to hurl, so only 1 throw every other round can be made, and after 5 throws within the space of any 2-turn period, the wielder must rest for 1 turn. And again, this talks about maybe you don't want it to be able to strike down storm giants, but instead you can add ogres and trolls and other things on the list, and I think we did that. Hammers can be hurled just as axes are. So that was the weapon that my character had, and when we showed up for the game and he was checking over our character sheets, it may have been my buddy beside me who said, "Hey, Robert's only got 1 weapon." And the dungeon master was like, "1?" And he told him what it was, and then he just kind of eyed me for a second and looked down at his notes behind his dungeon master screen, and I thought, oh no. Anyway, I was really proud of the character. I sort of had this Thor-like character, and I was super excited to play him. Well, let's take a look here at the Quickling. This is on page 103 of the Monster Manual 2. They are very rare, and their armor class is -3. So that is really something. They are hard to hit. They have a move of 96, but they only have about 1.5 hit die. They can attack like with a dagger, and they have some special defenses, and they have magic resistance in effect in such a way that they save as 19th level clerics. And they're very intelligent, high intelligence to genius. Their alignment is chaotic evil, but it has in parentheses neutral. I wonder if that means that some of them are neutral. They are small, about 2 feet high. And so I'd never encountered Quicklings before until this game session. But I really feel like the Dungeon Master put these in here because of me and my character's weapon. So as we were playing, I remember we were nearby a river in the woods, and I think this is like right at the beginning of the adventure. And let me read you just a little bit more about these guys. These small, slender, extremely fast-moving creatures are said to be a race of brownies who dabbled in magic and mysteries better left alone. Thus, legend relates the little folk were changed into evil creatures of great maliciousness towards humans, demi-humans, and other little people. They dwell in dark woodlands and wild, evil areas. In any group of quicklings encountered will be one with 3 hit dice. If 10 or more encountered, then 2 of them will have 3 hit dice, and one will be of 4.5 hit dice leader. Because of their amazing speed, quicklings have an excellent armor class. This speed allows them to make 3 attacks in a round with their needle-like daggers. Leaders will be 75% likely to have a poison, which causes victims to fall into a drugged slumber unless a saving throw versus poison is successfully made after each hit from these creatures' daggers. All quicklings are able to use the following spell-like powers once per day, 1 at a time. At will: ventriloquism, forget, levitate, shatter, dig, and fire charm. They are 90% likely to be visible. They are 90% likely to be visible when moving due to their speed. I wonder if that is a typo. They're 90% likely to be visible when moving. So does that mean like 10% invisible? When motionless in natural cover, they are totally invisible. All right, so maybe they're possibly hard to see when they're moving, but they can be totally invisible when they're just standing in natural cover. And when attacking, they can only be seen as a blur. Let's see, a dexterity of 18 will allow them to save against all attack forms as if they were 19th level clerics, and it's impossible to surprise them. They speak their own languages and that of brownies, pixies, and halflings. Most can speak many words of common, although at a high pitch and too quickly to be easily understood. The quickling race is short-lived because of their accelerated rate of motion. They mature at about 1 or 2 years of age, and they die between 12 and 15. So again, I don't know if the Dungeon Master had this planned or if it was an improv on the spot or what, but he had quicklings come after me right at the beginning of the adventure. And so the first thing he said was, there's this high-pitched buzzing sound and a blur flies out of the woods and snatches my hammer, and it's gone. And I remember saying, whoa, 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 because he was really going after me that day because I had only 1 weapon. And for one of the first times I remember arguing with the DM, and I said, this requires a certain strength and height to be able to even pick up. And he took it back. One of the rare moments where he ever took something back. And he said, well, you feel something tug on your hammer and it kind of swings out to the side and then swings back and kind of, hits back against your leg as if something tried to take your hammer. Well, then these things attacked. I think I remember getting stabbed multiple times, and I think I ended up unconscious by the river. And I think my buddy was with me. The other parts of the party were off exploring somewhere else, and we weren't too far apart, but we were far enough apart to be split in this combat situation. And so I think I remember being unconscious. Isn't that what the poison said it would do? I haven't looked up quicklings in years, but something about having poison, which causes victim to fall into a slumber unless, yeah. So I think I was asleep. I must have failed a saving throw. And I don't remember a lot more about that adventure. I don't think we were able to play that one to completion. We often played one shots. We didn't really play campaigns. It just wasn't our group's style. We were all athletes and doing busy things, and we liked playing outside, and we played more short, intense one shots is how I grew up playing and learning the game. And so in this case, we were allowed to have characters and advance those characters through different one-shot adventures. And sometimes if we didn't finish a particular adventure, we might continue it the next week we were playing, things like that. So no lengthy campaigns, at least not when I played with those guys. But this was a one-shot. They tried to steal my hammer. I got stabbed and unconscious. Later in speaking with the dungeon master, I think his whole plan was to have my hammer stolen by these things, and they were unable to do it. I think because I had read the description in the Dungeon Master's Guide. I wonder if I was really right there. Well, you know, it doesn't say that it's necessarily like Thor's hammer and can't be picked up. It just says it's largest size and extra weight, and it is too imbalanced to wield properly unless you have a strength of 18, exceptional strength of 18, 01 or higher, and the height of over 6 feet. And so I think when I argued against the DM, I referenced this part, and he didn't take the moment on the spot to look it up. So this could have really gone in either way. That Quickling could have taken the hammer if some DMs ruled it that way. But he was open-minded enough to allow me to make a point there against this, and I was able to keep my hammer, but stabbed into unconsciousness due to poison. And I think when I had woken up or been awakened by the rest of the party, I think my hammer had been dragged through the grass and mud. And I later asked the DM what that was about. And he said that they were trying to throw it. They were trying to throw it in the river. So I don't know, he really didn't want me to have that weapon, and he wanted to humble me by taking away my prized possession and leaving me weaponless for the rest of the adventure. So be careful. It's a good idea to have a backup weapon, guys, in case you get a DM that's going to be hell-bent on destroying your favorite magic item. So thanks for listening, everybody. It was great to talk about AD&D again with you and go through some of my old books again. Take care, everybody, and I'll catch you later.